Hello, everyone. My name is Vanessa, and my research is enhancing urban climate resilience through rainwater harvesting. So, for background, my main case study or my study area is Accra Technical University, and it's in the heart of Accra, a very, very urban area where almost every place you pass is paved and is tiled. So it's very urban and it was good for what I was trying to demonstrate. So in the past, I remember when I was being very, very young, when it rains, we used to put a cup down, we fetch the water, and sometimes we drink because it's clean and then it was very, very refreshing. But then it got to a point we were told that the rain is now acidic, so we shouldn't be drinking it just like that. So then a lot of people stopped harvesting rainwater, and then it became a big issue. But then when we bring it to the urban sectors and the urban areas, a lot of rain becomes flood because most of our places are tarred, our gutters are choked, our drains are small, so it becomes flood. But then in this same Accra, there's always water issues. Wager was designed to take to produce like 120,000 cubic meters of water every day. And from between the last Wager that was built about 70 years ago, but now population has increased magnitudely. So there are so much people, but then the plant was designed for a certain amount. So meaning that we do not have enough water, whether we like it or not. And on top of that, we are having galamsey. So Ghana water in Sawam that is in eastern region that is feeding some sections of Greater Accra. Now the Densu River, because of galamsey, that is also getting heavily polluted. So meaning that water will become a very big issue moving forward. So the next question is, so why are we allowing rainwater to go waste, especially in the urban areas where we can harvest it? But then there's the conversation that, oh, it's acidic and so forth and so on. So, I mean, my question is, would you prefer galamsey water or acid water? So, but that's besides the point. So the aim was to assess how rainwater harvesting improves flood mitigation and water security. So in recent times, because of architectural purposes, when you build your house, you have to have a rain gutter. Otherwise, when it rains, it will splash on your buildings and it's not aesthetically pleasing. So we all have rain gutters. We can all harvest rainwater. But because of the notion that has been put to it that it's acidic, we don't really do so. So what I had to also then there's also the case where maybe someone may make a case that okay, you said we should harvest rainwater. What if it doesn't really rain? What if it doesn't rain or we build a huge reservoir and now it's not raining? So I have to prove that it will rain and it will rain because of climate change. So climate change is basically the change in weather patterns over 20 years. So whatever emissions we do today will affect us in 20 years. 20 years ago, most people were driving Opels, cars that, emit a lot of carbon monoxide and stuff like that. So in recent times, you're experiencing heavier rainfalls in a shorter span of time. Some time ago, we experienced rainfalls, yes, but you can be at home and it will rain the whole day, but it won't rain as heavy. But now within like an hour, it will rain very heavily, and that kind of rainfall is what impacts us very negatively. So I went to Ghana Meteorological Service, took daily rainfall data over the last 50 to 70 years, and it was a lot of data. So I analyzed it in R Studio. I had to code it, put it together, and analyze it. Now that's not all because we are talking about climate change. We have to make some forecasts, and in making those forecasts, we have to do so understanding our lifestyles, what we are doing now, and how it will affect us in the next 20 years. So, because of that, there are different scenarios. So, let's say everybody is using petrol vehicles, we are emitting carbon dioxide, landfilling, burning, we are doing all the bad things. This is what will happen. And then the other scenario is we all go green. We all drive electrical vehicles. Nobody emits, no landfill. Recycling is 100%. Then there's that scenario. Then there's the middle ground. Like I'd say where China is now or Japan is now. They are in the middle ground. They have a lot of EVs, more than the petrol cars. But Ghana in the African sector, we are now discovering very nice petrol cars. So we are a bit behind. So the scenario was based on the worst case scenario, which is the more realistic one. So when we make the projections and then we analyze the data, so based on the past rainfall data we have, we make projections, and the projections are done with models from satellite images. So unfortunately, there are not a lot of satellites on our part of that works for our part of the world, but we have to combine what we can get to make the forecast we have made. And then in the graph, I'm not so sure that thing. So in this is basically a climate graph where the bars are rainfall, the red is maximum temperature, and the blue is minimum temperature. So this is what we've observed over the last 50 years. The most maximum temperature is, when you look at the 30, is around, let me say 30, 32. That's the most maximum temperature. But in our worst case scenario, our maximum temperature is around 40. So meaning that there will come a time where our general temperature will be, and even now we can't bear it. So imagine where we get to 40, and same for temperature minimum. Now, this is very problematic because the lowest temperature is, let me say, around 12, but now our lowest temperature is looking like 25. So meaning that we will not have anything like maybe a cool weather moving forward. And same thing for rainfalls. Some time ago, you see that the highest rainfall we used to get is between the month of May, June, July. But now we would have irregular rainfalls. Now, irregular rainfalls don't help us to plan. So if we are typically last year was raining in December, November, January was raining, which is not normal. So if we can't plan for floods, it will hit us very hard. So the point is to harvest rainwater in order to avoid all of these things. So in conclusion, we can integrate rainwater harvesting into our everyday lives. In order to do that, we need a reservoir, and as a civil engineering student, we had to design the tank and where to store all of the water. So the next slide is a 3D model we designed for the school's hostel. So when the water comes from the roof, it is channeled into a pipe, and then it goes. The red pipe is for the filtered water, so the debris and all of that goes into the red side. And then the blue one goes into an underground tank. And before that, there's a preliminary treatment. Because the rainfall is acidic, all we need to do is balance the pH. So we add a little alum to treat the water. We also did water quality analysis. So we tested the water, we saw the pH, the coliforms. Because it's the roof and there are beds, they are, doing their thing on the roof. So because of that, we have to do a little disinfection before we can use it portably. So yes, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for enlightening us. Dr. Abo, please, do you have any questions, any comments?
Sorry, thank you very much for your presentation. It was very interesting. I take it that you started with a baseline study, is it?
Yes.
To find out exactly what was going on.
Yes.
Did you say yes?
Yes, I did. I said yes.
Okay, and then after that, you designed your how would you call it? Your machine.
No, it's a rainwater harvesting system. So basically a tank where you can connect your rain gutter to store the water.
Oh, okay. I wanted to know, is it economically friendly? How much will it cost an ordinary household to have that kind of system?
Okay, so it's very, very economically friendly in the sense that all you need is a poly tank But in this case, because the more you store, the more you benefit. So meaning that the higher you go in terms of storage, is the more you enjoy rainwater harvesting. So in terms of economically feasible, yes, it's very feasible. In my research, I did a cost benefits analysis. So when you compare the price you are paying for a cubic meter of Ghana water, and when you invest in a certain size of a tank now, you start to get your return on investment after 5 years, and that is till eternity because you have the tanks. So it's very economical to do rainwater harvesting. Thank you.
Okay. Did you say tank or tanks? How many tanks does one person need? I mean, a family need?
So it depends on your roof, because that's your capturing capacity. So for my research, the hostel's roof was about 800 square meter, and then we are able to harvest per every hour it rains, we harvest about 5 cubic meters of water. Now, 5 cubic meter of water, the normal poly tank we see, or the average poly tank size 800 Rambo, is 0.8 cubic meter. So for you to harvest 5 cubic meter is a lot. So for a household, it depends on your roof. So if you have 100 square foot area, within an hour, you can harvest about 0.2 cubic meter. That's 2 Rambos. So yeah. No, 0.8. So you can harvest, yeah, if you have 2 Rambos, you can harvest enough water. Yeah, thank you. Oh, looks like Dr. Abo has dropped off. Dr. Vida, please, do you have any comments, any questions?
No, it's a very good presentation. All that I want to say is the quantities of water that will be dependent on the size of the roof, whatever. Everything depends on our ability to. We want the water, but our activities is just not good for. I think when I thought I'm saying, all that I'm saying, when we talk of climate change, it's about our activities that change the climate. Years back, we were able to have a whole month with rain in June. Now we don't have that again because the climate has changed because of our own activities. It's good this presentation has come up so that we'll be enlightened and we'll wake up as to our activities. The mining areas, whatever the bush burning, whatever activities we do, that causes the weather to change. It will also affect our rainfall pattern. And that's a very big mistake we always do. We are talking about the rains, yes. But sometimes the rains that come are so toxic that even when we store, we cannot use them. We drink, yeah, but it comes out with a lot of health hazard. So this very research is an eye-opener so that we will know that whatever practices we go through or we engage in have consequences. Yes. Thank you very much, Madam, for your presentation. We are happy to have you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I have a question. Sorry. So I just want to find out if you think that currently, looking at the kind of system or structure you showed us, you think that some households are storing the rainwater the right way? Because if I'm to compare what you spoke about concerning coliforms, and it looks like we are missing out on that because it's normally we just connect the pipes and then into the tank. Yes. So in those cases, if we're not going to use such maybe a sophisticated structure, what would you advise so that we can implement it in the households? Thank you.
Okay, so what I think is that we do not need so much sophistication when it comes to treating rainwater. Like I said, it is acid rain, and it's basic science that if you want to get something neutral, you add a base to an acid. So if the rainwater in itself is already acidic, all you need is a little alum. And for the coliforms, because it's treating of pathogens and it's disinfection, you can just add what we call hypochlorite. You add a little. So like it has what people do from time and again, like a big drum of water, and they add a little alum, it will do the trick. So your big poly tank, you can just add a tablet of alum and then the hypochlorite in a certain amount, and then you're good to go. And it's good for portable use. So you used to wash your hands, you used to wash your dishes, stuff like that, not for drinking. So if you want to drink, then you have to have a sophisticated treatment system. But for just home use, washing your clothes, watering your plants, especially stuff like that, all you need is a little alum.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please let's give her a round of applause again. She has done very well. Thank you. Thank you, Vanessa.